Hi, my name is Cian in DSMF class, and today my topic is about this. What pops up in your mind when you're looking at these pictures?
Stray dogs.
It's very sad that they are abandoned dogs, abandoned from their owners. My topic is about abandoned animals, but it's almost about dogs. For the content, I'm going to tell you about abandoned animals, and next I'm going to talk about after being abandoned, and next is adoption of abandoned dogs, and the last is quiz. First of all, about abandoned dogs. They are dogs abandoned by their owners and wandering around the streets, and it is also called as a stray dog. And most of them wander villages, and some become wild and hunt wild animals such as stray cats. Most dogs abandoned by their owners die in a few weeks or months at the most, and it's almost impossible for a dog that has been raised at home to live outside. They die on the road from cold, hunger, disease, or roadkill. And if they are captured by the government, they usually get euthanized. Euthanized means alaksa in Korean. And after protecting 10 to 20 days in shelters, and only 13% of the owners show up and return. And the shelter is very unclean, and there are various diseases and they are gathered, so it's also vulnerable to hygiene, and it's a breeding ground for contagious diseases. And every 20,000 dogs are euthanized each year. Next is adoption of abandoned dogs. Dogs have a variety of mental and psychological problems due to personality and behavioral abnormalities, and resulting from a bad relationship with the owner and improper parenting. When adopting an abandoned dog, you need to think and decide carefully, several times more carefully. But the reality is that in Korea, there is still not much awareness about the abandoned dogs, and they should be understood and corrected and nurtured. And every dog in this whole world, they're not toys that can be bought easily. Everyone should have consciousness and emotions about bringing a dog. It's a bunch of
It's happening way too often across the country. Dogs adopted during the pandemic, now abandoned. Here, a Tesla driver takes a dog into the woods and runs away. Check out this guy tying up a dog in an empty parking lot in Houston and driving off. What's behind the surge in abandoned dogs? One reason, many new pet owners are heading back to work and they can't meet the demands of caring for an animal. My wife and I adopted Scout here about a year ago. She's become part of our family, and we couldn't imagine giving her up. Apparently, some pet owners don't feel that way.
Aww.
Jeremy Boss runs an animal rescue in Dallas.
This is on a daily basis. It shows no sign of slowing down.
Other pet owners are simply returning their dogs to the shelters where they adopted them. This Shepherd mix was just dropped off at the front door at the Lucky Dog Animal Rescue in Arlington, Virginia.
This is Jonah. He is around 2 years old. He was adopted in May of 2020. He was returned today.
Ashley Roberts works for the shelter.
It definitely impacts the animals negatively whenever they're returned.
Tamara and Brian Loud adopted Kaya during the pandemic. They actually arranged to fly her in from South Carolina and meet at the airport in Sacramento last November. They say they could never imagine parting with her.
She's part of our life now, so that's how we look at it. I couldn't possibly imagine not having her.
Okay. Before giving a quiz, I'm going to tell you about my opinion about abandoned dogs. I lived in Canada and I raised a dog named Mello, and while raising her, I saw many stray dogs around the neighborhood. So I thought about it, and I want to tell you that don't adopt if you're not going to raise until your dog dies or you die. And do not adopt, do not buy, adopt. In Korean, it's 사지 말고 입양하세요. This means that buying is from pet shops. Pet shop dogs are from puppy mills, and they just, they're in cages and just, they sell dogs with money. So don't buy, you should adopt animals. For the quiz, it's what causes the abandoned dogs to die outside?
Roadkill, third.
And the answer is cold, hunger, disease, or roadkill.